Ladies and gentlemen, this week in the ridiculousness race of Republican lawmakers, we have Florida stretching past Missouri in this very, very special 28 to 11 vote that went down today on lifting the requirements of employers to provide shade, water, breaks in the heat. All of the heat protections for employees in the state of Florida are now void. So employers can do whatever they want. And being that they just lowered the working age in the state of Florida, to compensate for the illegals not working there anymore and all the companies basically losing a large chunk of their employees. So younger kids can work in 100, 110 degrees with no breaks and no water and no shade. So good, good, good. But this is really, really important because Florida really wanted to make sure they can outdo, Missouri for their latest of having teachers register as sex offenders if they show any sympathy or support for a transitioning or student. No support whatsoever. Tennessee, Oklahoma, Alabama, with frozen embryos being children. And the pregnant women not being able to leave Republican states just in case they were looking for abortion care. So they literally have to have their medical files open to state investigators. So if they travel across state lines, it's actually a crime because, it's a Republican state and freedom. Woohoo! All of the HIPAA regulations, all the privacy for medical stuff is pretty much gone, especially for women. I don't know how many women's rights can be taken away or how many of these ridiculous laws can be put in place before the Republicans actually sit back and go, whoa, there's nothing free about this and I don't like it too much. I don't know how many times we have to have like a young woman who ate a gummy while she was pregnant because she didn't want to take prescription drugs for fear of putting her unborn baby in danger, who gets prosecuted as a felon on her record, a felony for child endangerment, child abuse, child neglect, because Republican lawmakers in her state actually filed charges because the unborn baby didn't have its own medical marijuana card like mommy did. How much more do we need? 12-year-olds allowed to carry guns, lifting the rape exemption for 12-year-olds and younger, the abortion exemption in cases of assault resulting in pregnancies. They got rid of that as well in a same state where they were trying to push a law to lower the marriage age of women to 12. There are states where OGBYNs actually left the state. Women's healthcare professionals left the state because the ramifications of giving women simple healthcare could have ended them up losing their licenses or being, prosecuted as a felon for murder, attempted murder, just from being a nurse in a healthcare facility or being a doctor that takes care of women. How much more do we have to put up with before Republican voters, both male and female, are going to look at this and go, I don't know if this is the Republican Party I wanted. So I'm begging you, pay attention to these other states. Pay attention to the batshit crazy laws that not only they're trying to pass, it doesn't matter if they don't pass. The fact that these Republican people are putting the laws up to committee in the first place should say enough for every single person in this country to step up and go, keep that person out of office permanently. Why isn't that happening? 2024 is the year it should happen, because everybody knows about these crazy laws in other states. And if they don't know about crazy laws in other states, maybe they should look into them. Because some of the stuff putting up is not only barbaric, but there's nothing free about it. There's nothing American about it. So if you can look your daughter in the eye and vote Republican and you live in those states, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be truly ashamed of yourself. And every single day you better pray nothing happens to her and she doesn't need medical care. If that's the only thing that'll get you to wake the hell up, I wouldn't wish that on her. But I would wish it on you. Because you're the one who's voting for these idiots. It's not a Republican-Democrat thing. It's a Republican thing. Use your head. Use your vote to change it. You want a Republican in that office? Put a different one in there. The people who are doing this need to get out, and you need to support that. And if you don't call yourself a patriot, don't call yourself American, and don't you dare say you're fighting for freedoms. Ask women how their freedoms are doing these days. Just saying.